right? I will show you how to simplify this expression. This is tricky because there is square root inside of the square root. It's really tough, isn't it? How can you get rid of one of the square root, I mean. This, as we're using this system. Can you factorize those two expressions? This, as you do a plus b squared or a take over b squared, isn't it? Right? We're using this system to solve this question, right? Then the reason why we use this factorization as this one, we are changing this form into these forms somehow. Then we try to get rid of square root and then square at the same time. Okay? Like this. This question, you need to use this one, isn't it? Obviously, because it is negative. But I will cover both of them so that you can fully understand this concept. Okay? So if you see this one, a times by b and a plus b is there. And then square root is here and then 2 is in front. Okay? If you manage to change this form into this form and then use factorizer and then you get rid of square root and the square at the same time. But you got to be careful. The first number has to be bigger than second number because square root and then square root and square. If you do square as a number and then square root that, it's gonna be absolute value, which must be positive. In this case, a must be bigger than b. Right. This is a first example. So this one, you got to think of, change this form into this one, which means a times b and a plus b, isn't it? Can you think of two numbers you can multiply together and then you get 21, and adding together you get 10? 7 and 3, isn't it? So 3 and 7, but I just write 7 first and then 3 second. There is a reason why I'm doing that. So this one, I'm trying to write like this: 7 minus 2 square root 21 plus 3 and then square root. This is exactly the same, isn't it? Then I rewrite this one: square root squared. Square root squared. That's exactly the same as 7, isn't it? Exactly the same as 3. The reason why I wrote this value in this way, as I want to factorize inside of the bracket here. I mean square root here. Okay? If this is A, isn't it? Then B is this location, and then square. So the answer is gonna be square root 7. Take away square root 3. Okay? Then I will give you another example, or 3 examples here. Okay? So if you can see 2 in front of the square root here, then that's easy. You try to think of 2 numbers. Timesing 2 number, you get 5. Adding 2 numbers, you get 6. What's the number? 1 and 5, isn't it? So I can rewrite like 5 plus 2 square root 5 plus 1. And then this one is squared and squared, isn't it? Square root and squared. Then if I rewrite like this, and then I can rewrite. I can get rid of 2 and square root at the same time. So the answer is this one. But do we need square root here? we don't need it, I. So the answer for this question is square root 5 plus 1. Right, next question. This one, timesing two number, you get 14. And then adding two number, you get 9. 7 times by 2, isn't it? I always put the bigger number first and the smaller number first and second. Then now we don't really need to write this process, isn't it? I can write like this straight away. Square root 7, take away square root 2, bracket, and then square. And then get rid of square root, and then squared at the same time. The answer is this one. Do not write this way, right? Because this one is smaller than this one, so this one is going to be negative, so this one is not valid. Right. For this one, that's the problem. We need 2 in front of square root, isn't it? But now you can use radical third form. 12 is 2 times 2 times by 3, which means 2 of the 2 can go out of the square root. So I can rewrite this expression in this way. 2 square root 3. Okay? Then timesing two number, you get 3. Adding two number, you get 4. 1 and 4, isn't it? If this is positive, you can of course write in this order, right? Oh, no. In this order, like this, okay? Then answer is square root 1 is 1 plus square root 3, okay? Right, so let's try to figure out this question. This one is we need 2 in front of square root, and then this a and b needs to be a number, not square root number. Okay? Then if you look at this one, square root 9 is what? This is 3, isn't it? 3 to the power of 2 is 9. So I rewrite the left part as 3. Right? And then what about square root 8? We need to have 2 in front of square root. So if you look at this one, square root 8 is square root 2 times 2 times 2. 2 of the 2 can go out. So square root 8 is actually 2 square root 2. So I change square root 8 as 2 square root 2. Then I managed to make 2 in front of the square root. Then we do the same. Timesing two number, you get 2. Adding two number, you get 3. 2 and 1, isn't it? Okay, I always write 2 in front because this is a bigger number. So 2 minus 1, square root 2 minus 1. Do I need to write square root? I don't have to, so I just write square root 2, take away 1, and then bracket squared. So the answer is square root 2 minus 1. That's the answer. Right, additional question is here. I write question here now. Right, so can you figure out the answer for this one? We need 2 here, isn't it? And you can't make 7 by adding 2 number like this, right? So in this case, you change this part so that you can make 2 in front of square root. Okay? 4 square root 3 means 2 times 2 times square root 3, isn't it? Then square root 2 means square root 2 times by 2, which is square root 4. So you can rewrite this one, square root 4 times square root 3, right? Which means 2 square root 12. So I can write this one in this form. 7 take away 2 square root 12. Right? Then now we get the same form as this part, isn't it? Right? So timesing 2 number you get 12, and adding 2 number you get 7, which is 3 times 4, isn't it? So I put the bigger number left, smaller numbers right, okay? Then square root 4, bracket, take away square root 3, bracket squared, right? And then you get rid of the square root, which is square root 4, take away square root 3. And I would like to simplify this one as well. 2 times 2 is 4, so 2 take away square root 3. Done.